Good morning, everyone. I figured I'd bring y'all along with me because I got some gardenias and some wild zatar oregano that I'm going to be propagating. Just took some cuttings from my garden, and this was given to me from a lady that I'm actually working for on her property. She has so many beautiful plants, and this is just one of many that I've brought home and have started to propagate on my own. But I wanted to share some tips and tricks that I've learned along my ways. And I'm not super familiar with the gardenia, but I'm gonna try to propagate it like I normally would. I don't know if y'all can tell, but this is more of a hardwood stem. I'm gonna give it a try and see if I can get it to grow. I've heard that it's easier with softwood, which is still green. So I'm gonna give it a try both ways. So I guess tip number one would be, when you first take your cutting, I cut this tip actually right off of the side branch, but I want to trim it down a little bit more. So I'm going to pull these leaves off here, and I'm going to actually cut this at an angle right at that node, because that node has the capability to produce roots. So I'm going to cut that off just like that. I don't know how well y'all can see that. And then what I'm gonna do is, in this little jar right here, I have a mixture of raw organic honey, and I also have a rooting compound, and then a little bit of cinnamon in there. So I'm gonna dip that in there, just kind of let that sit just for a second while I grab a pot over here, take my handy dandy pencil, poke me a nice hole so I can make sure that rooting compound stays on there. And I'm actually going to pull a few more leaves off because they're not looking the greatest. Don't want it to waste its energy on trying to heal these leaves. I'd rather it put its energy into producing roots. So I'm going to stick this in here, pack this in, and I'm going to give it a little spritz. And then what I'm going to do is I will actually take this outside and put it in my little propagation box. But that's how I'm going to propagate these gardenias. And I'll do another one right here just so y'all can see. This is actually a shorter one. So I'm going to take this leaf off here. I usually leave 2 on most plants. I'll take this one off, leave those upper ones. That one's already cut where I want it. So I'm just going to dip this in here. Get my hole ready. Push it in there. Get it all nice and tucked away. There we go. There's another one. So I have a couple more. Let me go ahead and do this one too while I'm at it. And then I'll do one of the oreganos. That oregano is actually one of my favorite varieties from Israel. And it's wild zatar oregano. Really potent on the smell and flavor. Put that in there. Do one of these. Just kind of pack you in. But yes, this lady that I'm working for, she's on 4 acres, and she just sold a little bit of her property, so she's actually spending the money to do some work. And I've done a bunch of garden beds for her. She's got everything from guavas to one of my favorites that I've come across is called the Devil's Walking Stick, and it's this beautiful tree. Gets super tall, super straight, and it has thorns all over it, hence the name, the Devil's Walking Stick. But it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of property, and I'm so thankful to be able to help her and get her property back in shape. So this oregano, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm going to take a lot of these leaves off down low, about yay long, come back and